take your seats, please. "18 years ago, this month, on the 14th of August, 2001, to be exact, 14 SADC member countries signed the Protocol on Culture, Information and Sport in Blantyre, Malawi. On the 7th of January 2006, this protocol came into force. Now, Article 7 of that protocol mentions that state parties shall develop a regional information infrastructure to facilitate information exchange in the areas of culture, information, and sport. Point number 6 of that article, Article 19 of that protocol, it also states that the state parties shall cooperate in the joint investment, joint production, and exchange of film and video and audio information products in order to reduce reliance on imports when it comes to information and cultural products. I'm underlining reduction of imports when it comes to information and cultural products. Now, on SADC, this TV news program that we are launching today aims at exactly doing that, reducing reliance on foreign news in our own regional news bulletins. The SADC House, which consists of millions of viewers and potential advertisers, of which Dr. Geingob has been the chairperson for the last 12 months. Having said that, let me call on the SABA President and NBC Director General, my boss, Mr. Similo, to come and deliver remarks of welcome. Thank you very much.
Good morning to you all. Let me recognize the presence of our President, who's also the Chair of SADC, and our Minister of ICT, and our Vice President at SABA, Mr. Dlamini from the Kingdom of Eswatini. For the rest, I think I'll have to stand with the protocol that has already been established so that we can cut on time. Now, today signals for us quite a very significant happening within the region. Given that a year or two back, we were informed that we must come up with a product offering that should speak to the region, where stories are told from the perspective of what is happening within SADC, but with an influence that should be going beyond just SADC, but into the continent and globally. That instruction we've been carrying out diligently, but linked to that is the SADC television bouquet, which is actually the bigger picture that we are looking at. But as they say, an elephant you eat in small pieces. Because of the complexity that is linked with setting up the SADC bouquet, that is not a television channel, we fast-tracked an element of saying, let's first bring out a bulletin where we can get contributions from all the public broadcasters within the region. And that has been working well for us, extremely well. Hence today we are commissioning what we've launched last year on the 8th of October, because the program has been running for quite some time now. And for those that are following it, you will see that the uptake of inserts that are coming from within the region have all of a sudden now becoming more and more, which is a very good story for us, because for the first time ever, we can now relay information that has been prepared by sister broadcasters within the region. And for that, for us, we believe is a major, major, major milestone. And for that, we can only thank the political leadership that has given us proper guidance in terms of what we need to be doing. We are now at a stage where the commissioning, if things go well, we should be able, by next year, come up with the channel itself. We have a representative of Centec that is here They are helping us technically. We have ODTV Namibia here. These are the people that are assisting us with the streaming. Because where Namibia already is, when we're part of the other elements within the region is, the convergence of technology has also made it possible for us to be able now to allow those that want to watch so that they can do it on the go via the smartphone. And from a regulatory perspective, we are also busy crafting to see how best we can actually deal with the challenges that we may be finding within the region, because each and every regulator naturally may have certain rules to which we as the Southern African Broadcasting Association, we should adhere to. And linked to that as well is the aspects of culture, because a program that might be suitable for Namibia may not have resonance politically or culturally in any other country. So these are part of the things and the machinery that we are busy now trying to harmonize His Excellency, but we are really making good headway. And the last one on this one for us is the aspect of hosting. At the board meetings of SABA, it was agreed that the NBC is ideally placed to actually house the channel itself. Hence, even the processing and the production of the Eye on SADC is happening from within the NBC, within the country, Namibia. With those few words, not wanting to dilute what my minister and our head of state and the chair of SADC will be saying, I just want to say from SABA perspective, thank you very much that you've heeded our call to come and be with us so that we can share. And as we are speaking, we are linked to close to about 10 countries currently within SADC as well. With those few words, I want to say thank you very much and welcome to you all.
Thank you, Director General, President of SABA, the team, and the support as it was mentioned. Now we're going to have a look at the promo on the Eye on SADC. Thank you.
Eye on SADC, telling the African story from an African perspective. This is the only news program bringing you news, views, and interviews straight from the countries where it happened. Join me in Ndishishi Hamfungu as I take you on a journey across Southern Africa. That's on Eye on SADC, news of SADC from SADC.
Honorable Minister Simatas, your chance to come and deliver ministerial remarks. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Director of Ceremonies. This morning, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Namibia and Chairperson of SADC, Dr. Godfred Geingob, Honorable Professor Peter Kachavivi, Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Ministers who are present here this morning, Honorable Governor of the Commerce Region, Honorable Laura McLeod Kachirwa, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, if there are any who are here, my namesake, Mr. Stanley Similo, the SABA President and Director General of the NBC, my dear brother, the Vice President of SABA, and I think it's only appropriate that I stop there in the interest of time and acknowledge the protocol as has been established. Your Excellency, I will not have much to say since you accepted our invitation to kindly join us this morning to launch this very appetizing program. I am pleased, therefore, to bear testimony to this morning's event on this day, which I believe the Almighty had set aside in His supreme calendar of activities for humankind. When Namibia, Comrade President, took over the chairmanship of SADC ICT Ministers Meeting, at this very same venue last year, we flagged two issues that we were determined to accomplish during our tenure. These two issues, Comrade President, were the transformation of Southern Times newspaper into a SADC newspaper, to which I need to indicate that we have triggered the necessary activities which will, during the course of our meeting in September in Dar es Salaam, consider the modalities of realizing this transformation. And of course, the second program that we flagged for completion was the launch of the Eye on SADC. As our tenure, Comrade President, is about to come to an end, we are extremely pleased that substantive progress has been made on all of these two issues, with the latter issue being the subject of our engagement this morning. Your Excellency, as a sector, we are overly pleased that today's launch of the Eye on SADC will add to the bulging portfolio of accomplishments during your tenure as chair of SADC. The fact that you were able to join us this morning, given the maze of your engagement, illustrates your unreserved commitment to SADC issues, and we sincerely thank you, Your Excellency, for setting this time aside to launch this program. And since we are preparing to converge in Tanzania, let me conclude by saying asante sana.
Now for the keynote address by our head of state and the chairperson of SADC. May we stand as we welcome him, please, for his wonderful word. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
The Director of Proceedings, Honorable Stanley Simata, Minister of Information and Communication Technology, Speaker of the National Assembly, Governor of the region, ministers, may I just say, I will stand by protocols already introduced. It gives me great pleasure on the eve of the 39th Ordinary Summit of the SADC Heads of State and Government to officiate at this milestone occasion. Barely a year ago, the SADC ministers responsible for ICT were tasked to drive a SADC regionally produced and broadcast TV content initiative to light. The rationale behind this initiative was to ensure that the SADC bloc has its own source of news and programming and therefore possess the means to broadcast news of a regional narrative. In SADC, we understand and appreciate the role of the Fourth Estate. The Fourth Estate helps buttress our governance architecture by ensuring that government and the private sector are regularly scrutinized, thereby ensuring transparency and accountability across the board. Over the past several months, it has been my pleasure to enjoy TV news content from SADC countries beamed on most of the terrestrial platforms in the region. This is truly a realization of our regional integration agenda and speaks volumes around the notion of Africans working towards creating, managing, and disseminating their own narrative insofar as news is concerned. That initiative made me to realize that we have indeed come of age, that we are indeed on the march. We have grown as a people, as a region, and we are proud to have our own independent media, which can tell our story from our perspective and not from the biased lenses of those who do not identify with the history of our people and land. I personally want to thank you all, especially those who were behind the initiative since its inception, to have made it indeed possible. It has elevated our pride as a region and as an African people. The media landscape continues to change, and these changes are constant and drastic. We must therefore adapt to the times and place ourselves ahead of the growth curve by being proactive and innovative in our approach to media. With the onset of the fourth industrial revolution, resulting in 3D printing, the Internet of Things, big data analysis, robotics, artificial intelligence, cloud computing, and cooperation between human beings and machines, we have no choice but to adapt or to be left behind. It is imperative that SADC and the whole of Africa must embrace the technological advancement which has dawned on all of us if we are to deliver on the promise of our Agenda 2063, the Africa we want. Director of Proceedings, ladies and gentlemen, it is a known fact that post-colonial Africa is diverse, young and rich. We know that it needs visionary, entrepreneurial skill sets in the leadership that will present a dynamic change and a better future for Africans. This can be achieved through the creation of a sound and stable digital ecosystem. In this respect, I call on all the SADC broadcasters to throw their support behind this initiative going forward and to create a positive media culture in the region that will stand the test of time. Let us effectively utilize the resources at our disposal responsibly in order to attain the lofty heights of global broadcasting excellence. It is a great source of pride for me to note that during my tenure as the chairmanship of the SADC, media professionals from this region have commenced a great initiative for the continent, spearheaded by local media professionals themselves. I'm grateful for that. I also expect you to launch this service on the social media platforms for us to be able to reach an even greater audience and maximize our potential to its fullest. One of the founding fathers of SADC, Julius Malema Nyerere, said, and I quote, "A man is developing himself when he grows or earns enough to provide decent conditions for himself and his family. He is not being developed if someone gives him these things," unquote. This great teacher, Malema, this is tautology, but this great teacher, Malema, would be proud of this day when we as SADC, as Africans, have taken another step towards our continuous development by reaching this laudable milestone in regional and continental media. With these few words, ladies and gentlemen, it is now my pleasure to announce that the TV program Eye on SADC is officially commissioned in the SADC region. I thank you.
Thank you very much. You may be seated as we prepare to show you an insert on the Envisage SADC television channel. Thank you.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We start the program in Namibia, where outgoing SADC Chairperson and Namibian President Dr Geingob commissioned the region's flagship news program, Eye on SADC, in Windhoek. Since its first broadcast in October 2018.
Okay. As it was mentioned here, now that the Eye on SADC is already being shared in the region, we are only waiting for the channel. And as you heard from the SABA president, when he puts his mind to a task, that is going to happen. So sooner we should be back here or somewhere else to launch that television channel. So can I still then give it over to the team? Thank you.
SADC TV, bringing SADC together towards a common future. SADC TV is a 24-hour TV channel broadcasting a variety of content, from news and current affairs to social and cultural, as well as entertainment about and for the Southern African community. Unique and original stories from the length and breadth of the SADC member states, bridging the gap between Angola, Botswana, Comoros, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Eswatini, Lesotho, Madagascar, Malawi, Mauritius, Mozambique, Namibia, Seychelles, South Africa, Tanzania, Zambia, and Zimbabwe, bringing about a different understanding of what makes us exceptional to the continent of Africa and the world at large. SADC TV is a collaborative effort between national governments, the SADC Secretariat, national broadcasters, and production houses in the region. It serves as a platform to strengthen the fundamentals of the SADC community. This will be done through analytical, factual, educational, and entertaining programming, which will define and shape its viewers towards an insightful and informed tomorrow. SADC TV provides a platform for the 377 million residents of the region to share content, thereby exposing the rest of Africa to the culture, music, and ways of life of the bloc. News will be broadcast live from Windhoek, Namibia, connecting to the newsrooms from the rest of the region and creating an African narrative for African stories. SADC TV, bringing SADC together towards a common future.
Yeah. From the Kingdom of Eswatini, let's welcome the Vice President of SABA and the CEO of the TV authority in that country. That's Mr. Dlamini. A round of applause for him, please.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Namibia, the Minister of ICT, Information, and the President of SAPA, and in the presence of His Excellency, of course, with a small p. I will also observe my Secretary General for SAPA. I will not delve much, Your Excellency, into the protocol because it has already been established. May I observe it as put. Mine is a minor task, Your Excellencies, for the vote of thanks. And I appreciate to have come here in the commissioning of this landmark situation where our program has been commissioned by His Excellency the President, as well as the Chairman of the SADC region. This commissioning, Your Excellency, to us in the media fraternity marks a landmark in the history of the media. We have all gained our independence in Africa, And we have put away our guns that we have been shooting in the process of decolonization of the continent. But the process is not over, because the media, Your Excellency, has a very great function, because as we may recall that the advent of the media, radio, television, and sundries was to speed up the process of the liberalization of mankind for self-reliance. Today, colonialism no longer consists of taking the land from the people, but it is about demeaning their minds and crushing their culture. And in the unity of the African spirit, we will speed up the process of the liberalization of information for better reliance of the citizens of the African continent. And I am very pleased to have witnessed this great occasion, because this is history in the making. And we hope that this unity, Your Excellency, will help us through in helping our citizens realize their dreams and finding their pathways against the quicksands, in particular of the savannas, in the land of the brave. That is where the history has been made. May I take this occasion, Your Excellency, to thank the media houses for having come to the fold to experience this great occasion. And I also wish to thank the broadcasters who have also assembled today here to witness this occasion. And also wish to thank the business community who have put their hands together to assist in making this occasion take place. And more so, wish to thank the President and the Minister of Information against their calendars to have taken time to come through against their busy schedule to witness this occasion. To us, this marks a very important task, and it gives us some kind of strength in infusing some more adrenaline into our bloodstream to ensure that we do better than the other day in the function of the media expectation to the people of the African continent.